Hello there! What is going on, everyone? Today we are going to be painting some Spartans from Halo Flashpoint, the new combat miniature skirmish game from Mantic. We are going to take a look at these red and blue Spartans. We're going to throw some primer on them. We're going to paint them and see what we can do to miniatures that already look awesome, but maybe we want to just customize them just a little bit more. If you guys like what you see here, I'd love to have you stick around. We talk a lot about tabletop games, and we are still doing our big $50 Amazon gift card giveaway. If you want to have a chance to enter win that, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. This is running through the end of October, so you still have time left to enter to win. And if you don't win this one, don't worry. We got more giveaways. We'll be doing some holiday stuff around December, so a lot of cool stuff. Stick around. Let's get these things painted. All right, so we've got prime on here, and I used my airbrush. I did like a little bit of a zenithal, missed a little bit of it, but didn't hit the bottom, so I can tell which ones are which will be helpful. I'll probably do some on the basing last. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna dry brush, and I'm gonna start by dry brushing some red over the top, and I want to get a little coat of red over everything, and then this is gonna be just gonna be a foundation, and then we'll go from here. I know it's weird to make something black and then make it red again, right? When it was red to begin with, but now we have all this definition right in here. And what I want to do, I've got a lot of different ideas, and I think there's a ton of things that you can do with these guys. You can make you can make your whole team the exact same color scheme. You can make everybody a little bit different. But I'm thinking of making my red team a little bit more like, maybe some guys will be more orange, some guys will be like red with purple, some guys will be like red with black, but they'll all be kind of in the red family. And then like I have the blue be like dark blue, sky blue, maybe a little bit of green and blue, stuff like that. And then blue and black, or maybe blue and white, stuff like that. So there we go. We've got a little bit of a foundation on there. Next up, we're going to use Nuln Oil. We're just going to, I'm going to basically wash, black wash all over this thing. Now, this is just to get in. There's a lot of cracks, a lot of places for us to get wash in. And then we'll start, we'll obviously let this dry. And then we'll start getting, getting armor plating done with a highlight color and all of that. Yeah. All right, so now that that's had a chance to dry, we're going to take some Warlord Purple from Vallejo. Now, I didn't do my colors earlier. I just did regular Vallejo red. But the idea here is I just wanted to get certain bits on here. Just certain pieces, and to add a little contrast and depth to certain armor pieces. Not the whole thing, but just certain bits. Oh, like this one up here. All right, so we have now done a little extra color highlights on this guy, and I went and did the rest of the red squad too. I just did different colors for each of them. So this guy's got a little more purple, that guy's got a little red, this guy's got some orange, this guy's got some pink. So we've did a little bit of, so they're still all in the red family. That's kind of some of the ideas that I'm going with. And now we're gonna do some black parts. All right, so I'm using Citadel Contrast Black Templars. And this is a really nice one for getting it's good for like stormtrooper armor, it's good for weapons, it's good for black cloth, and trying to just get in there. It's very thin too. And this is great for getting in between armor plates and stuff like that. It has a little bit, because it's a contrast paint, it has a little bit of bleed through. When you're getting really small areas, it's not such a big deal, but it is, it's nice if you have some shading underneath. I like doing contrast paints when I've got, like if I've done highlighting beforehand, dry brushing beforehand and stuff like that, because then it'll keep some of those details will show through, and it's pretty cool. I especially like doing contrast paints on weapons. I will probably do the guns with this, because it allows a little bit of, I mean, you want your guns mostly black, but if you just paint them straight black all the time, you know, you can lose some of the cool details that are there in the guns. And then the contrast paint is an easier way to kind of paint them straight black, but it's a good quick way to do guns and then still preserve a little bit of the detail, you know. So we're going to just kind of try to get more and more armor pieces in between, or the fabric in between the armor pieces. All right, so we have this guy done now, and one of the last things I want to do is I have a little silver, and I'm just going to dry brush on just a little bit on the gun there. So I want to give it a little metallic, and I use Vallejo airbrush silver. It's a thin silver, but it's super bright, and it also stays very wet long. A lot of times, sometimes metallic paints will dry out, so using airbrush metallics with a brush is super cool. Yeah, so we're gonna do the rest of the guys, and then we're gonna do visors, and I'll probably use silver with that, maybe mix in some colors. So I decided to go with Retributor Armor for the visor, and it was just literally just a line right across the front, which was pretty good. And I'll show you how I did all the rest of the guys too. Here, see how the rest of them came out. I've got two more. I've got this guy and our guy in pink. All right. So now we're at the point where we can just do extra little details. If you want to put some silver, little highlights, or maybe some like gray or brown on like the knife, and you can do whatever you want with the bases. Although I think I'll probably take my time with the bases. Let me know what you guys would do for the bases, because we could easily just paint the bases straight red, or we could put some terrain on them as well, which I think is probably a good idea. So for basing, I'm going to use Vallejo Earth Texture, and for this, I just want to kind of get it down, not too heavy, and just get this kind of all over the place, like that. Don't use a good brush for this stuff, though. And once we've got our material down, we can just put a little flock on there. I like to just drop some grass on the base, and then tap it to get most of that off. And we can put some tufts or rocks or other stuff down on those. And then we'll let that dry, and then we put a red ring around the base to remind you what team they're on. So put a little extra down on this spot. And one of the reasons I do that is because I want to take these tiny little rocks, and I want to put them on there, but I want there to be some of the basing material to kind of suck them in and kind of mold around them a little bit. And of course I could always, I could kind of rub it around there a little bit more too. That gives it a little more stability once it's set in. But I don't want to get too much of that stuff on my tweezers, because then I can also take some tufts and normally you would glue these down, but since the basing material is still wet, it's going to dry with it in there. So if I do that now, that'll be good. So that's how we're gonna base them. All right, guys, and that's kind of a wrap, at least on the red team. That's kind of how we went from unpainted to painted. They are all done. If you want to see action shots and the entire team together, once the blue guys are done, make sure you check out my Instagram and other social media, Twitter, Facebook, all that other good stuff. And I'll have more shots when they're all ready. So if you guys want to learn more about Halo Flashpoint, check the link in the video description below. Very cool game. Very nice looking single piece miniatures that are ready to play straight out of the box. But if you want to do more, This is a great way to do it. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this channel possible. If you guys are thinking about supporting the channel, Patreon is a great way to do that. And we're going to have some special patron giveaways this holiday season as well. So stay tuned for that. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. And always wash your socks.